HRC is proud to remember Bettie Naylor, who was a force to be reckoned with and played a central role in bettering the lives of LGBTQ people at both the national level and here in Texas. In the 1970s, she became the first official gay rights lobbyist in Texas, and as an early leader of Equality Texas and a founding board member of the Human Rights Campaign, Bettie tirelessly advocated to ensure that members of the LGBTQ community received the rights, dignity, and respect that all people deserve. For well over a decade, our next honoree has boldly shared her story, has spoken out against discrimination, and has smoothed the path towards equality and acceptance for transgender people everywhere. In that time, she has served on the board of directors for Athlete Ally, was a member of President Barack Obama's LGBTQ Policy Council, yes, served 8 years on HRC's board of directors, and is currently in her 12th year as part of HRC's Business Advisory Council. So, I wouldn't say she's been too busy over the last decade. Persuasive, endearing, and a true champion of change, she has testified for non-discrimination ordinances at both the state level and in Congress, has taken part in HRC's On the Road to Equality bus tour, and assisted in HRC's Welcoming Schools program. The list goes on. For me, though, her most noticeable accomplishments are seen in the day-to-day at home as a mom, raising me and my younger sister, Edie. Yes. And she was even recognized for those in 2014 when she was named by Working Mothers magazine as the first transgender working mother of the year. As a former intern of the Human Rights Campaign myself, heads up to the consumer marketing department, and an ally of the LGBTQ community and a very, very proud daughter, it is my extraordinary honor to stand in front of all of you in this room and recognize someone who's held such a pivotal role in my life. It is my absolute privilege to introduce you to HRC Austin's 2018 Bettie Naylor Award recipient, my mom, Meghan Stabler.
I couldn't be prouder of Hannah, despite the bills that I still get. But I'm totally honored to be here. I really want to extend my sincere thanks to HRC Austin. Thank you, thank you, thank you. To the wonderful board of directors, Liz and Todd, wherever you are, thank you so much for what you do. I also want to say thank you to HRC in general. You are a family. You really are a family to many of us, especially in the trans community when we have nowhere else to go. So HRC, as I'll say in a little bit, became that family for me when I truly didn't think I was going to have a family anymore here in the United States. But I really want to also say that I'm truly humbled to get the Bettie Naylor Award. She has been a remarkable inspiration to those of us who are here in Austin. She took her voice of power, her voice of desire, a voice of need, a voice to champion every LGBT issue straight to the Capitol building and didn't take no for an answer. She was there before any of us actually took steps to that Capitol building. So Bettie, up there, thank you so much. I also want to say thank you to Cece, who is a dear friend to all of us. We miss you and we love you too. So why stand up? Why today is it important that all of y'all, yes, I'm a Texan, especially my accent, but why is it important that I want to ask all of y'all to stand up? Because there are those of us that stood up beforehand when there wasn't any hope. My champion, my advocacy, my want, desire, and need to stand up was born in the 80s when I found friends dying from HIV/AIDS, when nobody would be by their bedside, when nobody would hold their hand, and some of us stood up and stood forward and made sure that they were loved in the most desired time of need that they had. From the 80s, I moved into the 90s. And the 90s for me was really being a voice for the voiceless. I joined the National Board of Directors for an organization called the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children that dealt with child sexual exploitation and abduction. And for me, that is a passion because children don't really have a voice. They trust in us as adults. And there are bad dudes out there that do bad things. And I wanted to make sure that as a technologist, I could bring technology into NCMEC and advance causes. So we put technology on every federal air marshal. So this was before the Amber Alerts. And I wanted to find a way that we could get the image of a child into the PageWriter 2000s. I'm dating myself. Been in technology for 35 years. But we wanted to put technology on where they could actually see the face of an image of a child that was missing. And then I moved on to being one of the founders, sorry, I don't want to say founders, one of the people that helped steer the Amber Alert program and the Parents for Meghan's Law. So for me, being a champion, being an advocate, was really making sure I was focusing on causes that were needed. But then I got into the 2000s, and I was there in New York City when the Twin Towers fell. And that, for me, was a pivotal moment. When I lost, and Hannah, too, lost the son of her teacher. And I knew I was living a lie. I knew that as a software executive, here I was enjoying life on a corporate jet, flying to meet with Bill Gates in Washington, enjoying all the things and the trappings of what a software executive looked like as a senior vice president, but I was dying inside. I knew that the advocacy that I did for other people was not helping me inside. I couldn't stand it. I called the CEO. I said, Ellie, I can't stay here anymore. I resigned. I moved to Texas. What the hell was I doing? But for me, it was an escape. It was an escape to get away so I could truly find myself. In doing so, I lost part of my family. I gained the love of my daughter as well. But I became able to live my truth. And through that truth, it led me to transitioning. It led me to the doors of the Human Rights Campaign at a time that was pivotal in the movement, when Employment Non-Discrimination Act had been separated from exclusion between sexual orientation and gender identity. And I walked into the president of HRC's office, Joe Solomines, and I said, if we are not at the table, we're on the menu. How can I help? What can I do to change? How do I advocate for those of us who don't have a voice? There was no Caitlyn Jenners. There was no Janice Marks at this point in time. I'm transitioning right in Houston, Texas, with a Baptist Christian CEO who sees me every day. Look at me, what can I do to help? From that, I led on and started to advocate for Don't Ask, Don't Tell repeal. I advocated for trans rights. I advocated for marriage equality. I stood up and I stepped forward, and I did it with purpose. I did it with authenticity, and I did it with legacy. And my desire for all of you as we continue the fight forward, because we have to. We have the most bloody, awful administration that's stripping rights away from women, immigrants, trans people, LGBT people, every minute of every day. We have it right here at the State House. And by the way, I love taking selfies. I've got a selfie with Rick Perry. I've got a selfie with Ken Paxton, who started to chat me up at the airport. And eventually I said, by the way, I'm trans, bye. Those things. But I want you to look at what you do around. I went on a trip to Israel through APAC, an organization that I also enjoyed lobbying for as well. Feel the passion inside yourself. So I want you to think about something that I talk about when I go to colleges. It's about finding your pal. And I don't mean Grindr or anything like that tonight for the guys that are out there. But it's finding your purpose, your authenticity, and a legacy. For me, it's purpose. Purpose is your journey. It's fueled by passion. I think, as you can tell, I got passion about what I do for equal rights. Passion lights the way with values, intensity, commitment, and compassion. Authenticity is the daily practice of letting go of who we think we are supposed to be and embracing truly who we are. And then I want you to think about your legacy. How is it do you want to leave this place? What is your story going to be? This is your gift. Your legacy is your gift. It's about what you did and what you became. So I truly want you to reach inside yourself, whether you're LGBTQII, whatever it is on the alphabet soup. Most importantly, a straight ally. Go find your purpose, authenticity, and legacy. Find your pal and go live it. I want to see you there with me at the state capitol steps. I want to see you there in Congress. I want to see you in a couple of years' time when we're bringing in a new president that says we will not tolerate the ills of the Trump administration. We're going to move forward with America for everybody that's fair and valued. So, thank you again, HRC. Thank you, HRC Austin. Thank you, my daughter, who is the most beautiful thing that I can see here on the stage right now. You do make me proud and you do inspire me. But also thank you, each and every one of you. Some I've known for years, some I've just met this evening, and some who I'll probably never ever meet. Live your authenticity. Do it with purpose and ultimately leave a legacy, just as Bettie Naylor did, just as Cici Gratias did. Thank you so, so much. Thank you.
Please welcome back dinner.